What's up, everybody? This is Alex Christopher with the Duran, and I have with me Mr. Peter Lavelle, host of RT's Crosstalk. And today we're going to be taking a look at NATO funded by Facebook. All right, Peter, this is an article that we discussed, and we found it on Zero Hedge, and I'll put a link for the article for our viewers to take a look at it. And it's basically outlining how Facebook is working with the Atlantic Council, and the Atlantic Council is very closely aligned with NATO. So in essence, the connection is NATO and Facebook are working together to regulate content and to regulate news. Explain to our users what and who the Atlantic Council is, and what does this cooperation mean for everybody, actually, both in terms of what you post and also in a geopolitical sense, because the Atlantic Council is obviously a geopolitically oriented think tank. And of course, a lot of this stems from what else? Russian meddling, Russian interference. So.
Well, the Atlantic Council, as I would characterize it, as the PR arm of NATO. Okay, that's exactly what they are. And Zuckerberg over at Facebook is outsourcing. You see, Zuckerberg doesn't want. He'll say, "Well, I took advice from the esteemed Atlantic Council." Okay, he's letting them make decisions on these things. I don't think Mark Zuckerberg and the shareholders care much about Ukraine. I don't think so. Okay, do you think they ever talk about anti-missile defense? I mean, we could put anything we want on Facebook, and there's a small, tiny group of people that know what we're talking about. Right. But the Atlantic Council does. Okay, and so they're going to comb through and make sure people like us that are anti-war, along with libertarians and progressives, okay, and what I call myself a paleocon. I'm like Pat Buchanan. He's one of my heroes, okay, and so is Ron Paul, a libertarian. But the Council, now they're going to get their claws into this. Facebook outsourcing this is going to be a real headache for people like us, particularly for people like me, because I talk a lot about. I mean, I'm ideologically and policy juxtaposed completely to the Atlantic Council. I mean, 100%. Okay. I mean, we had people over the Atlantic Council after the illegal takeover of power in Kiev in February 2014. That the Russians have a media conspiracy that the fascists and neo-Nazis have taken over the government. Well, 4 years later, even the Atlantic Council said, "Oh, you guys got to look out because there's a lot of nasty figures." And they were so brazen to say, I'm paraphrasing here so I don't get sued. We should be worried about the rise of neo-Nazis, and in parentheses, and no, this is not a title from RT of all places, okay?
Because RT got it right.
Yeah, we got it right. No, I mean, on Crosstalk, I've been talking about this for 4 years. And then the same guy that wrote that said, you shouldn't be worried about it, and then he's the same guy 40 years later saying, oh, maybe we should, okay? And so that guy's been living under an ideological rock for 4 years, okay?
And that guy's going to be fact-checking for Facebook.
And that guy's going to be fact-checking, okay? And these are the people who are going to be making decisions. I mean, because he's ideologically blinded. Facts are nothing or meaningless to people like this. They're ideologically driven, and they got an extra cash flow from Facebook, okay? So they're fat and happy right now, and they're going to push their anti-Russia agenda all the time, okay? So it's the Atlantic Council's got to be popping bottles of champagne. I mean, they have it good right now. And, of course, they're going to make it remind Zuckerberg how evil and terrible and aggressive the Russians are. And protecting these regimes like in Kiev. And there was a very interesting article like in Salon a few weeks ago about a young man, or an adult man, and he was, don't sue me here, I think it was from Lithuania. His grandparents were from Lithuania. And in his family lore, Grandpa was a great anti-Nazi resistance fighter, and he's a national hero. Well, and this young man wanted to find out more about this national hero, and he found out that his grandfather was actually in cahoots with the Nazis, okay, and part of the final and the Baltic states. Okay, so I really suggest people take a look at it, because I've been telling people for a long time there's a lot of really awful histories in this part of the world during the Second World War. It was many wars that were going on, and because of the Cold War. These histories of what happened in the Baltic republics, in Poland, in Serbia, in Croatia, in Czechoslovakia, there's a lot of really tragic things. A lot of people collaborated. A lot of people did. But the Cold War, no, these are captive nations. They're all good. I mean, I'll portray my age here. There was a wonderful film in the 1980s. It was called Music Box, and it's a very similar story to what I just told you. It's a fictional story about a woman that finds out her grandfather from Hungary was part of the fascist regime there. Though he was able to cleanse himself as a refugee against fleeing communism. Okay, I mean the United States and particularly Canada took a lot of these jokers in. Okay. And covered it up. So the Atlantic Council will probably, given their road record, their track record, will make sure anything like that is wiped away. Okay, because it interferes with the narrative. Okay. Oh, by the way, Atlantic Council, if you're listening, Russia was a captive nation during the Soviet Union. Remember that and chew on it for a while.
Yeah, Atlantic Council. I'm quoting Reuters now from the Zero Hedge article. Facebook is now itself a top donor to the Atlantic Council, alongside Western governments, Gulf autocratic regimes, NATO, various branches of the U.S. military, and a number of major defense contractors. And the Atlantic Council's work with Facebook, and I want you to comment on this, Peter, has already, and I quote, has already been instrumental in Facebook taking action against over 24, quote, suspicious pages flagged potential foreign actors such as Russia.
How many pages? 24?
Over 24 suspicious pages.
Oh my God. It shakes the world of Facebook and social media. Oh, come on.
You see where we're heading?
Yeah. Absolutely. But see, this is all because one failed, corrupt candidate lost in 2016. I mean, I've been saying this for almost from the moment that Trump found out that he won. I mean, because of the time difference, it was morning for me. I was up and fresh, okay? And 15 minutes after the AP called it, we made a program. And I said then, and I've been saying it since, institutions will be assaulted. We've seen this with the FBI, the DOJ, okay? We've seen how government outsources, the dirty dossier and things like that, and lie about it and cover it up. We don't have any checks and balances, or they're under threat. The DOJ and the FBI will not answer subpoenas or slow walk things from Congress. Congress funds those folks. Okay, they're supposed to be watching them. Okay. It's really quite astounding here. Institutions are at stake, and people don't realize that. And if we don't have responsible media and platforms to talk about it, it's only going to get worse.
Instead of Facebook and Zuckerberg taking a stand and telling these guys to go F off and just say, we're an independent platform, we're open to all points of views, we're not going to get fact-checked by anybody. What you have is them not only playing ball with these institutions like NATO, but they're donating money to these guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's like Amazon, and the Washington Post and stuff like that. I mean, do you think the Washington Post is ever going to run a story on Amazon? Come on, I mean seriously. No. I mean, come on. No. Okay, or the deal that they have with $600 million with the CIA. Does that make the headlines? No, it doesn't. See, this is this co-mingling, and of powerful forces, and these are marriages that are monstrous for us, because we have concentration of political power, concentration of economic and financial power. Everything is so concentrated, and it's so fused together. Yeah. This is what corporatism, authoritarian corporatism, this is what that is. And it's happening right in front of us. And I don't know, Zuckerberg, I've never met the man, obviously, but his behavior and how he runs his company I have to say it, he appears to be very cowardly to me. He would just prefer to cave and collect money, okay? Bezos does the same thing. I mean, okay, I'm talking about Bezos and the dog.
And even the dog's getting upset. That Bezos.
Oh, there you go. He's just pacing back and forth. No, so this is what we're encountering, and this is something that it's going to be hard to challenge, because I don't see a lot of politicians wanting to stand up. Okay, and people, the environment that we have right now is that if you question anything, if you say this is a hoax when it comes to Russia, people are in fear of this McCarthyism. Okay, I said in a previous video, I mean, I'm like dead to them. I'm free. I'm a free spirit, okay? Because I can say whatever I want because there are no consequences for me, okay? Oh, I suppose they can take me off Facebook if they want. Okay, fine. But I'd rather speak the truth and then be afraid of maybe or not breaking rules that nobody tells me about. I mean, I have my program on my own Facebook page deleted, okay? After days or weeks, they take it off. I didn't break any rules.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
They didn't tell me.
The more things change, the more they stay the same. And to me, I see the next Iraq WMD lie that they decide to push out. It won't be CNN and the cable news, because back then it was the cable news that was spreading the lie and suppressing the truth. Now it looks like we're going to have the social media platforms who are going to be just playing ball with NATO, with the Atlantic Council, and they're just going to push the lies, which is just going to move the U.S. to another disastrous conflict. And it could be with Iran. God, I hope it's not. It could be an even bigger conflict, but you're just going to have Facebook pushing up the bullshit story that the Atlantic Council is going to want them to push up, and all the other viewpoints which are saying, no, they don't have weapons of mass destruction. They don't have this, they don't have that. It's just going to get just lost in the memory hole of Facebook.
We can end on this. I was a little boy when the Vietnam War was going on, and it was being televised into every living room in America. And thank God there was courageous people in media. I've been in media. This is for a long time, and it's the longest profession I've ever had in my life. And I, as a young man, as a young man, I always respected Walter Cronkite because I actually believed him, and he was a good man. He did tell the truth. Okay, there's nobody. I mean, the only one close is Julian Assange.
Oh, come on, Rachel Maddow, Chris Hayes.
Yeah, but I mean, they not only drink the Kool-Aid, they make the Kool-Aid. It's amazing to me this. I mean, and she was like a Rhodes Scholar, right?
Yeah. She knows what's going on, but that paycheck feels good in her pocket.
Michael McFaul is a professor at Stanford. I think they need to reassess their hiring practices.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think we're going to get any truth from these guys. That's for damn sure. They're also playing ball.
They're willing propagandists.
They're willing propagandists.
Yeah. Because we're going to have to do a series on this new church here, okay? Because this is the postmodernist culture Marxism religion, okay? And they all are part of the clergy. And really, I really believe that.
High up in the church. Very high up in the church.
Yeah. Wearing the purple.
There you go. And on that note, guys, Peter Lavelle, host of RT's Crosstalk, thank you very much. Guys, if you like this video, click on the subscribe button down below. Click on that notifications bell to get notifications every time we push out a new video. And please visit the Duran shop, buy a t-shirt, help us out. Peter Lavelle, host of RT's Crosstalk, thank you once again for a great discussion.
Yeah, and I'm on vacation.
and he's on vacation. There you go. and on that note, guys, until next time, take care.